Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Office Hours. I'm just going to be setting aside the next 30 minutes to take any questions you guys have regarding English reading, writing, whether it's SET or not. We can also talk about anything beyond that as well, academic or non academic goals of yours. All right, so this is just a quick paste into chat and let's get going. I'm gonna. All right, so quick personal update, and then I'll get going with this because I can't really see if you guys are here. If you are here, just say hi in chat to let me know you're here. Um, Personal update, I said the same thing about 8 hours ago in a previous stream, but this week I've just been focusing on. Well, actually, this week was kind of messed up because I got sick, and then I also had some personal um, issues come up, basically. So I just ended up getting very busy this week. With not a lot of progress on my original plans, but one piece of news is that originally I thought I had to do a lot of tutoring between now and June, but it turns out I have this. I kind of got a. I got like a project that will help me kind of minimize my tutoring hours. So because of that, I should be able to do a little bit more like something for YouTube. So I'll be kind of brainstorming my plans for the next week, and hopefully I have some updates for you guys soon. Besides that, I've been watching some TV, some movies, listening to some music. I haven't really been reading this week because I got busy. But the two movies that I remember right now watching are Flow, which is animation. It's like a European animation studio with like a very small team that did their entire project on Blender. Kind of interesting, just from a production standpoint, but also got lots of prizes. And it's about a cat that survives a flood and about the friends you make along the way. So it's very easy to enjoy, but the end of it was pretty random. So kind of a strange ending. Hard to get my head around that ending. I'm not sure if I loved that ending, but overall, fun ride. And then I also watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is a Wes Anderson film, stop motion animation Wes Anderson film from 2009. Excuse me. And it has a lot. It's honestly quite. It's I would say it's amazing. I haven't watched a Wes Anderson film in a long time, but I'm remembering what he's so good at, and he's very good at sort of writing out movie logic so that the scenes themselves don't make a lot of sense from a humanistic like character building standpoint. They a lot of times it's kind of like random and quirky, but from just the tradition of movies, like this, every scene feels like it has to be that way in a way, and in a certain a non-humanistic logic, and it's very it's funny because you do feel for the you get connected to the characters even though they don't feel very real. They feel like self-consciously artificial, and it's it makes for an interesting experience, a very unique experience. So yeah, those are my movies for the week. Yeah. All right. Well, looks like no one's here at the moment, so I'm going to just keep myself occupied a bit with. Let's see. I think I did all the word games, so I'm gonna just keep myself occupied a bit. I have a bunch of stuff on my plate that I can't share my screen with you guys for, but I'll just kind of do my thing, and and then if you guys join the chat, I'll just give me a shout out and I'll reply. All right, just another shout out in case anyone is joining me right now. Just let me know you're here, and we can start chatting. Right now, I'm just kind of dealing with some random, minor, odd tasks. 6, 220, 230, 246, 246. All right. DNG, what's up? Give me a sec. Let me finish off this little thing that I was doing. It's a large amount of... All right, I'm almost done. Something weird is happening right now, but anyway, I'll figure that out later. All right, so DNG Bao, welcome to the stream. And how to improve your prediction? Well, it kind of prediction is it's like a very large step. So there's like a lot of little micro steps that happen as part of the prediction step, and it's really only it does depend quite a bit on the question type and what the passage, what kind of content the passage is covering. So it's actually if I were you, actually, I would rather ask a question about a particular question that you had. So if you solved the Blue Book Practice Test 7, and there was some sort of if there was a specific question where you remembered not being able to predict the answer, then we could talk about that particular question. But if you don't have a question specifically to talk about, then all I can really say is make sure to identify transitions when you're reading the passage, and to have a good map of the passage before trying to make a prediction. Because if you just try to rush a prediction with like no information, with a really bad map of the passage, then your prediction itself is going to be very low confidence, and you're going to be rushing anyway to do process elimination. So you have to be able to at least map the passage okay if you want to make a prediction. Let me know if that helps you with your question. Meanwhile, it's been a while since I was busy all day, so I wasn't able to check Discord. I'm going to just catch up on Discord really quickly. Okay, no one's really been chatting here. When you're doing command of evidence and inferences, it's hard to predict the answer. Okay, yeah, those are very different. So I'll talk about them one by one. Inferences, it is possible. For inferences, it is possible to make the right prediction, but inferences tend to be one of the hardest ones to predict, and a lot of times it's not really important to get the right prediction. It's important to just get one possible right prediction out of many possible right predictions. And then just get the right thinking in your head. Because oftentimes, and this even happened on the Blue Book 7 practice test that I just live streamed a couple hours ago, I would predict one thing and I wouldn't see my answer in A or B or C or D, but then I would check the answer choices and then I'll be able to find one right away that matches, or at least that maps up or that lines up neatly with my map of the passage. But the fact that I made the prediction in the first place means that my thinking is clear. And because my thinking is clear, the process of elimination happens very quickly. Okay, so for inferences, I wouldn't try to hold yourself to a bar of getting a perfect prediction where you predict the correct answer actually. I would just ask yourself, like, I would ask you to ask yourself, or if I were you, then I would ask myself, is this a fair enough prediction? Okay. And number two, did that prediction help me during the process of elimination? And as long as you can say, yeah, it was a fair prediction, even if it wasn't the right answer, it was a fair prediction. And if you can say it helps you with the process of elimination, then it's fine. Because inferences are hard. It's very hard. Now, with inferences, there are other skills that go into it, like being able to keep track of like the major premise or whatever. But that gets a little confusing if I just get into the nitty gritty of it. So the big picture is to not worry too much about it, just to have an imperfect but still accurate prediction, and then just work with it from there on. For command of evidence, it's a little different because command of evidence questions, actually the claim is not in the answer choices, right? When you say, for example, what question types puts the claim in the answer choice? Well, like main idea questions. What is the main idea of the passage? Well, the main idea of the passage is B, and that is a claim, and then you have to defend that claim with evidence from the passage, right? Well, with command of evidence questions, the claim is not in the answer choices. The claim is actually in the passage itself, and then you have to defend that claim in the passage with evidence from the answer choices. One more time, for most questions, the claim is in the answer choices, but with command of evidence, the claim is in the passage instead. So the direction gets flipped. And if the direction gets flipped, then the prediction that you make actually changes as well. Now you're not predicting what the right answer is per se. You already know what the right answer is. It's the claim that you're trying to support. Now you have to think of a potential, one out of many potential pieces of evidence that could support it. And so for these, you could argue that you cannot predict the right answer, and it's very and it's fair. I think it's hard to predict the right answer on command of evidence questions because it could be one out of so many things. But with command of evidence questions, as long as you kind of have background knowledge on that field, right? Okay, if you have some literary knowledge, if you have some like anthropology knowledge, if you have some linguistics knowledge, if you have some economics knowledge, then you can generally predict what kind of evidence will come out. And usually that gives you enough of a foothold to at least start scanning A, B, C, D for something that matches what you were thinking. And then if you don't get that, then you have to do process elimination. All right. So long story short, both of those question types are harder to predict for. Inference, it usually is possible. It's just that you have to infer the prediction, which can be pretty hard, depending on the question, like the actual inference type that's being tested. And command of evidence, it's very open-ended. It could be one out of a million pieces of evidence, and any piece of evidence would work. But you should still just try what you're doing, make a rough prediction. Don't spend too much time on the prediction. Just spend a couple seconds just thinking about it. And then go for what makes sense. Look for an answer choice that makes sense to you first. And then if you really can't, then go ahead and do process elimination, answer choice by answer choice, word for word. And that is a totally normal part of the test taking process. You don't have to beat yourself up for using process elimination on them. I guess there is a bit of subtext here. The subtext is, Saul, aren't you against process elimination? But no, I'm not against process elimination. I think process elimination is fine. It's just that I use it as my secondary. I don't use it as my primary. All right, guys, it's 5:08. So, and I'm kind of having a rough schedule today, but if I'm gonna just invite you guys to ask me any other questions that you have, and it doesn't have to be about the SAT, it can be about anything else. And then I'll probably switch over to the members only stream in about like 5 minutes or less. Okay, so if you have any more questions, just ask them now. Otherwise, I'll just be chilling. Hang on, I was doing something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just focus on this other minor task that I was working on until I see more questions in chat. Question bank. Oh, Ace Hulk. Oh, that's actually a great question. So let me update. Okay, I'm checking like a number, but this number is messing me up. Okay. Anyway, the update on the question bank. I don't remember the last thing Oh, dude, it was a week ago. Okay, so last week I said that I finished updating my internal question bank, or sorry, my internal question database with all of the official SAT Suite question bank questions, and so they are all inside my internal question database, which I can now use to create questions. But during the last week, I got sick. I had some personal things come up. So I didn't really get a lot of work done. Plus, I had some other thing that happened where I got like an offer of work, and this project is gonna allow me to not really worry about tutoring. So if I don't have to tutor, then I have more time. And if I have more time, then I'm going to focus more on the YouTube. So it's good news overall, but it's just made my whole week a little bit chaotic because a lot of things happened that were unexpected. So my question bank is just sort of sitting there, or has just been sitting there for a week. But I should have another update within the next week because there's a couple very basic things to do. I mean, the obvious thing to do right now is that there's a new set of practice tests, right? So I'm going to put those practice test questions into my question database. So I need to do that. The other thing I need to do is I need to stream practice tests 8, 9, and 10. I need to make those streams. So I'm going to do that as well. And once I've streamed them all, then I've put all those questions back. I add all those new questions back into my question database. Then after that, I probably need to start producing some content somehow. But yeah, there's basically been a week-long delay on the personal side, and that's why I don't have much else to say at this very moment, other than I'm going to add practice tests 7, 8, 9, and 10 onto my YouTube streaming playlist, and then into my question bank, into my question database. So that is the current update as of this moment. Yeah. But thanks for asking. I forgot to mention that earlier today. All right, Ding Bao, this is Dianji Bao. This is going to be the last question I answer before I move into the members only section of the stream. Here we go. Thank you so much. I have another question. What do you need to improve when you can't understand the passage while practicing the test? Should you cram vocab? Well, you should cram vocab if vocabulary is what's making you not understand the passage, right? If you are failing to understand the passage because of the vocabulary, then yeah, your vocabulary needs to be improved. So what that means is you should go back to the passages, okay? Like you only get 32 minutes to solve a practice test, right? Or sorry, to solve a module, right? So 32 minutes may not be enough time for you to fully process everything, okay? So let's say you're like a 700 scorer and you want to get to like an 800 score. That may not be you, right? But if you are a 700 score trying to get to an 800 score, then you're probably making somewhere in the range of like 8 to 10 questions wrong on some of these harder practice tests, right? So what that means is you need to like you're not going to immediately be able to read all these passages and predict the answers and and do like one look answers or no look answers right away, right? You might need more time than 32 minutes. So just do not look at the answer key. Okay? Don't even check your score, right? And go back over the practice test module and go back over question 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with unlimited time and see if you can just analyze the passages slowly to understand everything and see why you can't understand it. And if it turns out that the vocabulary is the reason that you can't understand it, then yeah, you probably should be cramming vocabulary. But oftentimes when you look at your reading, it's not the vocabulary that's the problem. It's like the threading. Are you matching the right? Like if there's like a word here and a word here, and they're referring to the same thing, but they are just different words, right? If it says personal computer over here and then PC down here, well, PC is personal computer, right? Are you able to just make that thread? Sometimes people literally just fail to make that thread. Is that a vocab problem? Yeah, you probably know what personal computer and PC are, right? So is that technically vocabulary? Would cramming vocabulary help you with that passage? No. It's like learning to identify threads in the passage or sometimes, a sentence that you're reading is actually just a methodology thing, but you think it's the main idea. Well, is that a vocab issue? Maybe not. Maybe it's just you failing to identify transitions. So yes, you should cram vocab if vocabulary is your issue, but first check if it's actually vocabulary that's your issue. Like go back and reread the passages and then figure out what it is that you're getting stuck on. So Ace Hulk is saying no practice test live stream. Actually, I think I said the opposite. Maybe I wasn't clear. I'm going to say it again. I'm definitely going to stream practice tests 7, 8, 9, and 10 first, and then I'm going to put all those questions into the question database that I'm building. So yes, those practice test live streams are coming up. I actually already did practice test 7, and I'm going to do practice test 8 in the next couple of days. I actually have it scheduled already I have it scheduled. If you go to my YouTube channel, like it's just there. So you just hit the notification bell. You'll get the notification alert. Right now it is scheduled for my Wednesday morning. But I may change the schedule because I have a couple meetings in the first couple of days of this week. That's kind of going to keep me a little bit busy, but we'll see. I am aiming to do that stream on my Wednesday morning, which is like Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time, so it depends on where you are in the world. Yeah. But it's easier to just look at my main page on YouTube and see where that stream is. All right, guys. Thanks for all the questions. And if you have further questions and want to chat with me, then you can consider subscribing, joining my channel membership and supporting me, because I have a members only stream where I chat for a longer time with anyone who is supporting me. Or if that's, for whatever reason out of reach, not necessary for you, I am currently, I'm always checking my Discord server like at least once or twice a day on my work days. So you can just chat in the Discord server, and then I'll swoop around and try to add any feedback or insight that I have whenever I can. It's your 6 a. 6 a. Oh, I see. You're somewhere in. Okay. It's I mean, you don't necessarily have to come up at 6 a.m. for, but okay. But if I see it there, I'll be happy. All right, guys. Thanks for the questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.